Rick Manning. Today is our final spring training tune-up telecast. We will greet you 1 week from today when the Indians are in Toronto to open the 2013 championship season against the Blue Jays. Rick, the final roster cuts have been made. We know who's on the team. We now know who the fifth starter is. The key is getting them all to Toronto in one piece.
Well, you certainly want to break camp healthy. As you mentioned, 1 week to go. But Scott Kazmir earned that number 5 spot here this spring training. Hasn't pitched in the big leagues in a couple of seasons. He is back. His velocity's up to about 92. He had a very good spring. Threw the ball very well. They will finally have that left-handed starter in the rotation this year.
All right, some other roster moves of note. Jason Giambi will start the season on the 15-day disabled list with a back injury, but it's not believed to be serious. They figure they'll have him back. It's a retroactive move. He should be ready to go on April 9th. Of interest is Carlos Carrasco.
Well, Carlos is going to make the roster, and he will serve his 6-game suspension. But now, in turn, after the 6 games, he will probably be sent down to AAA, and then Giambi will come off. So, he will be ready to go as a DH. Carrasco will be available probably for 2 games out of the bullpen. So, it's touch and go here in the first couple of weeks of the season.
No, the Indians have an interesting start to the season with a lot of games before they have any days off, because they'll start the season on the road against 2 dome teams before they come home to face the Yankees in Cleveland. All right, stay tuned. We've got all the action coming up today between the Indians and the defending Western Division champion Oakland Athletics, live from Goodyear, next. Well, we do have a little cloud cover today here in Goodyear, but otherwise it's another gorgeous afternoon in the desert. Temperature will be right around 80 degrees as the Indians take on the Oakland A's. Zach McAllister getting the start this afternoon for the Tribe. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics. And we've got Eric Sogard leading off at second base. Then Jed Lowry, the shortstop, in the 2-hole, followed by Josh Reddick. Then Yoenis Cespedes hits cleanup, followed by Brandon Moss and Seth Smith. Josh Donaldson, John Jaso, and Michael Choice is batting ninth.
Zach McAllister, the number 4 starter on the mound this afternoon for the Indians. Last year, 22 starts, a record of 6-8, and a .424 earned run average. Really opened some eyes, so he came into spring training this year probably with the upper hand. Ended up getting the number 4 spot in the rotation, so we'll see what Zach can do this year. Let's set the defense behind him this afternoon. It's not what you'd call your A-game lineup. It's going to be Avilés in left, Henry in center, Rayburn is in right. Urshela is at third, Lindor at short, Ramirez is at second, Saburn is at first, and Santana behind the plate.
Going to look at the umpiring crew this afternoon. The Indians come in with a one-loss record of 16-12. And the Oakland A's are 13-12 with 3 ties on the spring. 81 degrees, our game time temperature. And a foul back off the bat of Eric Sogard. Eric Sogard is having a terrific spring, batting .512. 22 hits and 43 at-bats. Just a little bit inside. Sogard with a homer, 6 driven in, 7 doubles on the spring. Santana blocking one in the dirt. Zach McAllister won a spot in the starting rotation about midway through the spring. He was named the Indians' 4th starter. Swung on and missed. He takes care of Sogard for out number 1.
That is something we noticed last year, that Zach was able to throw fastballs by a lot of hitters upstairs last year. You know, he first came up thought to be a sinker slider kind of guy, but he has enough on that 4-seamer if he can pitch down in the strike zone to get it by you upstairs with 2 strikes.
Here now is Jed Lowry. And the A's shortstop takes a strike. Lowry on the spring is batting .310 with 3 homers, 13 driven in.
Yes, he did.
And the count quickly 0-2.
This may be a nice addition for them when you figure Pennington, who was playing shortstop for him last year, ended up here in the desert with the Diamondbacks.
High fly ball to left. Back goes Mike Avilés. And fighting the sun makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2. That's one of the reasons why the Indians went after Mike Avilés in the offseason, signing him. He's a versatile utility player. He can play every day. He did it in Boston at the shortstop position, but he can play left field. He can play shortstop. He can play third. He can play second. And Rick, he's probably not a guy you want to run out there 100 games a year in the outfield.
No, he's an infielder by trade, but he certainly won't hurt you in the outfield.
Here's Josh Reddick. Terrific hitter who can hurt you if you make a mistake. 32 home runs a season ago with 85 driven in. Chops it foul on the right side. And McAllister with a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the number 3 hitter for Oakland.
Yeah, Reddick had 32 homers, 85 RBIs, a good low ball hitter. This is one guy that you might be able to get the fastball by him upstairs.
151 strikeouts a season ago. Looks at a pitch down low. It's 2-1. Under the guidance of Bob Melvin, Oakland won the American League West a season ago. What a season they had. High in the air. Slicing, foul, and out of play. Josh Reddick, in addition to his offensive prowess, as you can look at Melvin, he also won a Gold Glove last year. So he's really been a tremendous addition to this A's club. That's hammered right field. Back goes Rayburn over his head off the wall. Ricochets past him. Jordan Henry trying to back it up, but Reddick's going for 3. Here's the throw, and he is safe at third with a 2-out triple.
Well, he smoked that ball, line drive into the gap, and that looked like it was a fastball up a little bit, but it was middle of the plate. They wanted it in, and you can see he didn't get it in. It leaked out over the plate. And Reddick hammers it off the wall, and we'll get a 2-out triple all the way to third base. It was close over there.
Just beating the tag was Josh Reddick. And the A's have a runner at third with 2 down for Yoenis Cespedes. The bell cow of that Oakland offense a season ago.
Yeah, this guy really, I think, surprised a lot of people. They didn't know how good he could be. They thought he might have some power and strike out a lot, but he made adjustments. Led the team in hitting with a .292 average.
No! And he can hit it just about anywhere you throw it.
Well, he makes adjustments. I mean, this guy he's got great plate coverage, a good eye, and he's got very good power.
23 homers, 16 stolen bases last year as well for Cespedes. And you have to wonder, too, for a young man like Cespedes, who was just getting used to life in the United States a year ago after defecting from Cuba, now that he's maybe a little more settled in and feels a little more at home, so to speak, if that'll help. You figure that this guy has tremendous potential, and the A's might have a bargain at 4 years and $36 million. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Well, and when you figure he really didn't know any of the pitchers in this league and made the adjustments, got better as the league, as the year went along, it should continue this year. He should continue to improve.
Up and in. And McAllister leans him back. Full count. Top of the first here in Goodyear, Indians and the Oakland Athletics. The payoff pitch is up and away for ball 4. Well, Oakland, and this is a great example of Oakland baseball, and I'm sure many fans have seen the movie Moneyball and the statistical analytics that go into a lot of their thought processes and selecting players, drafting players, looking for free agents. They don't care about strikeouts, and last year nobody struck out more than Oakland hitters in the history of the game. In the American League, they struck out 1,387 times, an American League record, and yet they still won the American League Western Division. So when you walk, you get extra base hits, and you pitch well, that covers up.
Yeah, they
the
did. They
lot.
pitched very well. But you know what they did last year, Matt? They got key 2-out base hits. Remember how many games they won with their last at-bat? They come on. They had a dozen wins, earlier in the year. Just coming from behind and getting the timely hit when they needed it.
6 different A's players had walk-off homers last year. That one's blooped left field line, dropping, fair ball. Reddick scores from third. On his way to third is Cespedes. Into second with a 2-out RBI bloop double is Brandon Moss. And the Oakland A's take a 1-0 lead after there were 2 outs and nobody on base.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing. Although this wasn't a bad pitch, Moss ends up fighting it off. You see, he digs it out from down and in and bloops it into left field. But this all happened with nobody on and 2 outs after the triple by Reddick. Then the walk, so they continue. So they will take an early lead, 1-0.
And we'll bring up Seth Smith. It's by Santana. Here comes the runner from third. Cespedes to throw to the plate. And not in time. That was a collision between Cespedes, McAllister, and the umpire. And it's 2-0 Oakland.
Well, it goes down. Let's see. Wild pitch into the dirt. Santana gets down, but do you see that ball skip? It stayed down. It didn't come up where he thought it was. And he puts his foot on home plate and just misses the tag. Never really got him. Cespedes did not slide, so the wild pitch will come on and add another run.
Right back to the screen. Seth Smith figures to be a fourth outfielder once again for the A's this year. You've got Coco Crisp, Cespedes, and of course Josh Reddick.
Well, he might be the fifth, because don't forget they traded for Chris Young, who was the everyday center fielder here in Arizona.
Yeah, you figure, well, they just put those at bats, so the DH kind of floated around there.
I think that could be because last year Cespedes had some injuries. Coco Crisp missed some time. So what they may be trying to do is, have that four-man rotation and, rotate these guys to give them days off and to keep them healthy.
Big chopper to second base. Jose Ramirez will throw him out and the inning is over, but the A's strike for two after two men were out, and they lead it 2-0. The Indians are coming to bat. Oakland jumping out to a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the first here in Goodyear. And let's look at Terry Francona's starting nine today. The young guys getting an opportunity. Francisco Lindor leading off, then Mike Avilés, Carlos Santana. Matt Carson DHing bats cleanup, then Ryan Rayburn, followed by Jordan Henry, Giovanni Urshela, Jose Ramirez, and Jared Sayburn. And Francisco Lindor looks at a first pitch strike from hard-throwing left-hander Brett Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson, their number one starter. He comes back. That's off the leg. He is a 25-year-old. He was coming off Tommy John surgery last year in August and made 6 starts, and then he had the oblique injury where he missed the rest of the year. But this guy has good stuff, moving fastball, good breaking stuff. And if they get him for a whole year, it can only help him.
Slow chopper, foul, third base side.
We talked about Oakland and their pitching last year. They had rookies that started 101 games for them last year. That's how well they did. They had the second best bullpen. You're getting a look at the numbers for Anderson. As I mentioned, he only started 6 times. That was after August. He pitched very well and then had an oblique injury. So they'll hope they can keep him healthy.
Slow chopper hit to third on the big hop. Donaldson has it, gets rid of it to retire Lindor, 1 away.
Let's check the defense behind Anderson this afternoon for Oakland. It's Cespedes in left, Choices in center, Reddick in right. Donaldson at third, Lowry at short, Sogard at second, Moss is at first. John Jaso, who was up in Seattle last year and then with Tampa prior to that, is behind the plate.
Here is Mike Avilés. Takes a pitch down low. Avilés last year played a lot of shortstop in Boston. Strike called. It's 2-1. You're right, though, about Oakland and their starting rotation with Anderson, Jared Parker, Tommy Malone.
Yeah, those two rookies last year had really good years for first-year players. Can they come back and repeat it? That's yet to be seen.
Avilés hits one high in the air, deep left center. Choice on the run, can't get it, and it's off the wall. It caroms past him, and Avilés will be able to stroll into third base with a one-out triple. The second triple of this game already. And it goes to show you that spring training, you don't have a lot of feel for how the balls play off the wall. And twice we've seen an outfielder charge after a ball and only to lose the ricochet.
Well, here's a mistake by the young center fielder. He realized he wasn't going to catch it, so you have to play back. He continued to go toward the wall, and he sort of jammed himself. That ball is going to ricochet, and that may be a byproduct of not knowing how hard the wall is, but that ball will always come back to you out there. So you're better off staying about 30 feet away from the wall if you realize you're not going to catch it.
Carlos Santana with a runner at third and one out looks at a pitch up high.
That enabled Avilés to get all the way to third base, so the Indians have a chance to come back and get a run here on a ground ball.
Santana socks it in the air to center. Choice makes the catch. Tagging is Avilés. He's coming home. The throw cut off, and the Indians retaliate with a run here in the bottom of the first, and they cut the Oakland lead in half at 2-1. Santana has his 7th run batted in on the spring. Something that you hope the Indians will be much better at this year, which is that situational hitting. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you scratch out a run here, you get a run back after they score early, you get a little momentum on your side.
Well, it's something that you take with you. You go through situational hitting, and every team struggles at some point in time during the year. But if you can do it on a consistent basis, it certainly helps.
Well, you're right. I mean, I think as fans of a particular team, you lament every time you don't get that runner home from third, but you forget that guy's getting paid to do his job too out there on the center of the diamond.
Yeah, if you can be consistent with it. Now, you're not going to do it every time, but when needed, get him in.
Matt Carson, an 11-year professional baseball player, but he's called out on strikes here to end the first. Indians get on the board. It's 2-1 Oakland after an inning. 2-1 Oakland on top, second inning here in Goodyear. Bottom third of the Oakland order to face Zach McAllister. Putting on the sunscreen.
Well, you better.
We had some cloud cover right at the start of the game, but it is burning off, as they say.
Well, winding down here, spring of 2013. This will be our last telecast until opening day. And we will be there indoors.
Yeah, opening day, 7 o'clock start in Toronto next Tuesday night, 1 week from today.
I have a pretty good feeling that that dome will be closed on that night. I'm just going out on a limb right now.
Hope that limb doesn't break.
Oh, it won't. It's a really thick branch.
It's a low branch, too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Ground level.
1-1, straight up the middle. Donaldson lines it into center field for a base hit. He's had a good spring swinging the bat for the A's. Donaldson slated to be the opening day third baseman for Oakland.
Well, I'll tell you what, he tore us up last year, if you remember. He played very well against the Tribe.
John Jaso steps in. Right back to the screen. Donaldson had a game last year against the Indians on August 17th. He went 4 for 4. It was his first career 4-hit game.
I remember him hitting a big home run against us. He played excellent third base. He really played well against the Indians last year.
You know, the thing about Donaldson, count 2-1 on Jaso, but Donaldson last year had a streak. Let's see, I think it was 30 straight games where he didn't have a walk. 30 consecutive games without a walk.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
McAllister, nice deke move, and Donaldson tagged out by Francisco Lindor.
He didn't panic. He was going to get rid of it, but he just held it long enough where Donaldson took off, and then McAllister steps off. He sees him out of the corner of his eye, taking off. Don't give it up yet. Run at him. Make that runner commit. He finally did, and then you get the easy out with one throw. That's the way to do it.
Goes as a caught stealing. And the count on Jaso still 2-1. Fouled right back. Chopper foul. A little bit inside now. Full count for Jaso. And McAllister deals, but it's low, ball 4. Second walk issued by McAllister, and a one-out base runner here in the second for Oakland.
Well, join us for all the excitement at Progressive Field with a 2013 season ticket package. They give you access to the best seats at the lowest prices, and you don't want to miss it. Our home opener will be April 8th, so go on out, get your tickets before the Yankees home opener. You can log on to Indians.com for more information.
And that's a ball as well. And a breaking ball misses. 2-0 the count. Swung on and missed, threw it by him. It's 2-1. Zach McAllister with a chance to spend his first full season in the big leagues this year, as he will open in the Indians starting rotation. But Terry Francona admitted the other day, he said, you know, we like our 5 starters, but there's a lot we don't know until we see him out here pitching in games that count. Oh, what a double play turn there. Francisco Lindor to Jose Ramirez and on to Saber into turn 2. A little fancy footwork, no glove needed. Oakland on top 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Ryan Rayburn, Jordan Henry, and Giovanni Urshela due up for the Indians to face left-hander Brett Anderson. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you here in Goodyear, Arizona. Let's go down to the Tribe dugout right now. We're joined by Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway with a week to go until opening day. How you feeling about things right now, Mick?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. You know, the guys are out there, they're pounding the zone, and that's what we've kind of been stressing the whole spring, and they've been doing a great job of it.
Mickey, now you know who your 5 starters are, or at least we know. You may have known for quite some time, but the 5 starters are set up to start the year. Did you come into camp with preconceived notions about who you thought would fall where, or did you just sort of let it play out?
You know, obviously we had some ideas, you know, maybe the first 3 guys, but the last 2, you know, we just kind of let it fall into place, and we're happy about where we're at right now.
Zach McAllister, of course, named the 4th starter around the middle of camp. And as you said, that the key for him is to pound the strike zone. He had over 100 strikeouts a year ago, which was among the top 10 in rookie pitchers last year. And what, in addition to that, does he need to do to be successful this year?
You know, obviously with Zach, he's got a really good fastball, and he's just got to be able to command it and locate it and really keep it down consistently, and then, you know, kind of elevate when he needs to for the strikeout. You know, with that, along with mixing in his good curveball and a good change, he should be okay.
Mick, when you come down to spring training, it's based on pitchers and getting them used to stretching out. Everybody ready to go as far as from day one?
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's the main goal of the whole spring training, just to make sure they're getting their pitch count in and getting stretched out and getting up and down. And we're at that position right now. This next time through, we'll back them off a little bit so they're fresh for their first start of the season.
I mean, you bring in so many pitchers in camp. That's why a lot of B games are played. And a lot of times guys will pitch to get their work in without even pitching at a major league level.
Yeah, definitely. We've been using a lot of the minor league innings, and I know it's tough on the pitching coordinator down there, but he's gracious enough to let us have a lot of innings, and we're getting our work in.
Mickey, I know you pitched a long time professionally. As a coach now on the other side of it, what is your philosophy on pitch count? You and Terry Francona, when you look at the starters and you go into the season, Is every pitcher different in terms of pitch count, or do you sort of have a red line where you don't want to exceed?
Yeah, I think everybody's different, and it really depends on how they got there. Was it stressful pitches throughout the game, or did they kind of breeze through, 7 or 8 innings? We might give them a little more. So, I think obviously you're not going to keep them out there for 150 pitches, but if they got, to at some point, a relatively stress-free way, then we'll keep them out there a little longer than we would normally.
There's a line drive and a base hit by Giovanni Urshela, and it skips by Cespedes. Urshela on his way to second base, and he'll stop there. Probably a single and an error, as Cespedes was in front of the ball, but it just hit that grass. And almost like the wild pitch that got by Santana, it just skipped. It didn't hop. It stayed down.
See, Mick, you thought you were going to get away soon like you did the last time. They're going to keep you just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'd love to be out here for about 30 minutes.
The thing of it is with this ball club, the starters, I think, realize if they can give you a solid 6, and then if you get 7, it's a bonus with the bullpen that you have. You've got some pretty solid guys coming out of that bullpen as well.
Definitely. That's the goal, and it should take a little, it should relieve the starters a little bit knowing that. And, with our offense this year, that should give them a little more less stress to worry about, and hopefully will give us a good solid 6 innings on a nightly basis.
I always say that bullpen's as good as your offense. If that offense can get a run late in the ball game and then you turn it over to that bullpen, they shut it down like they know they can. That's a nice combination to have going throughout a year.
Definitely.
Chris Perez scheduled to pitch today, correct?
Yes, he is.
And so everything. Oh, there's a line drive and a base hit to right field. Coming around third with the tying run is Urshela. And Jose Ramirez, a 19-year-old young player with a very high ceiling. The Indians are very excited about Ramirez. He ties the game with a 2-out RBI single. Take another look at the base hit by Ramirez.
Well, right there, Anderson just tried to throw a fastball by him away. The kid stayed on it and went to right field. A nice job of hitting on his end. So they will tie the game here with 2 outs.
But, Mick, I know you and I spoke earlier, but just for our fans back home, CP scheduled to pitch today, and in your mind, ready to go?
Yeah, definitely. He's looking good, and he's feeling even better. So we're going to get him out there in his first game action today. Maybe give him a day off and get him another one, and then see where he's at. But he looks pretty good, and he's ready to go.
That guy's always ready to go. You may have to tie him down sometimes. Just to be careful, man.
Definitely. We've been battling that.
No kidding. He's like 110% every time out.
He's ready to go every day. That's why he's so special, in that closer's role. You need somebody like that.
Well, it's going to be interesting early in the season, too, because of all the games without any off days. And there's a chopper up the middle. The second baseman, Sogart's throw low, but dug out nicely at first by Moss to end the inning. Well, we'll continue that conversation another time. Mickey, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway. Tribe comes back to tie it with a run here in the second. All right, we go now to the third inning here in Goodyear. Indians and A's tied 2-2. Eric Sogard, top of the order for Oakland, pops it up on the first pitch. The shortstop Francisco Lindor fighting the sun. He makes the catch. One down. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, and joined now here in the booth by Ross Atkins, Indians Director of Player Development. And we're getting an eyeful here already, Ross, because we saw really a fantastic double play turned by Ramirez and Lindor. And then we see Ramirez take a base hit to the opposite field to drive in the tying run. Has to be exciting for you to watch these kids get an opportunity in a big league spring training game and produce right away.
Yeah, it is. Those guys are, I think the most exciting thing about it is to see how comfortable they are. You know, not too comfortable. You know, they're certainly respectful of what's ahead of them and the challenges ahead of them and how talented the players are around them, but they don't seem out of their element at all. They don't seem like their feet are moving too fast, or just seeing Francisco, you know, take that fly ball as if it were on a minor league field back in, 250 yards away from here or half a mile away from here, it looked the same. So that's the most encouraging thing, but it is a lot of fun to watch.
Well, the great thing is these kids, I mean, when you get a chance to open some eyes and come to the big leagues, that's a dream come true. I don't care if it's spring training or whenever it is, and if it's inside you, I mean, if they can relax, God bless them. More power to them.
That's exactly right. I don't think Nick Saban's quite as relaxed as Francisco Lindor.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, he turned a nice double play because the flip by Lindor was a little offline. He barehanded it, stepped on second, threw to first.
Oh, Jose Ramirez is.
I mean, Ramirez, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Sabrin, I got you.
Jose Ramirez, just you guys might have already talked about it.
Lowry singles to right field with one out here in the third. Yeah, Ramirez is just 19 years old. He's hit .342 in 2 years in minor league action. Talk about this double play right here, huh?
Yeah, Ramirez went back, made a nice play.
Yeah,
that's
big
league turn right there.
Guys talk about all the time the game speeding up on guys, the game not speeding up on guys, and it's clearly not happening to him. I think him playing in the Dominican all winter, he played every night. He was selected to the championship team and taken to the Caribbean World Series.
Nice.
So that experience for him has obviously helped for someone who's only just going to turn 20 years old this year. He was playing in the Arizona Summer League last summer.
Yeah.
So, to see that comfort level is encouraging.
Yeah, he and Lindor are roughly the same age. Fouled right back. And who knows, these two might be double play combination partners for years to come.
Yeah, and Ronnie Rodriguez and Tony Wolters and Juan Diaz and Dorsey's Paulino are pretty good too. But these guys are special. There's no question just how advanced they are mentally. Francisco made strides this offseason we couldn't have possibly expected physically. He was already the strongest shortstop in our system. He came in a little bit more powerful, a little bit quicker, a little bit more agile. And guys, so often do that when they're advanced in their careers and as disciplined as someone like Cord Phelps, but to see a 19-year-old do it is a whole nother ballgame.
He's not done growing yet. That's the one thing about it.
Look out. Off the glove of McAllister. Caroms towards third, and a great play by Urshela, who stayed right with it on the carom and alertly flipped to second for the force out.
Well, I'll tell you what, McAllister, I don't know how, but he got a glove on it, and it's almost like you were playing flip. And he flipped it third base. Watch this seed. A breaking ball up out over the plate, gets a glove on it. I mean, that was past his head in no time. And he was lucky enough to deflect it, and they get an out. Wow. That's he's lucky right there. That ball got on him in a hurry.
Gio's a special third baseman, too. That was a heads-up play. Relaxed. And
here's another young kid, 21 years old, out of Columbia. And I don't know where these, who puts these rankings together, but one of the things I read is that he had the best infield arm in the player development system. Do you guys have internal rankings and all that type?
You know what?
Tools?
We do, yes, of course. We are sorting through it. We don't take the time to prep out who has the best arm, because that doesn't give us much value, but we are asked by different people, and we do have opinions on it. But I think what separates his arm is how relaxed he is and how accurate he is with it. So he can slow the game down. Here I am using that expression again. He's not too reliant on fielding the ball cleanly every time. He can take his time when he makes a diving play because he knows he has that transition, that accuracy, and the arm strength behind him. And that'll separate an infielder, and he definitely has that.
You know, the funny thing is we just get the opportunity to see the big league level because that's what we do. But you're in charge of, what, about 150 guys down there and how they're slotted to move up. And just so you stay busy and have to know each and every one of these guys, and they change all and every year.
Well, we'll talk some more about that with Ross Atkins when we come back. Bottom of the third coming up. It's tied at 2. Two-two our score, bottom of the third inning. And the Indians will have the top of the order here. Francisco Lindor grounded out his first time up. 19-year-old, was a first-round pick, 8th overall selection in 2011. And Lindor drives one deep left center field. Cespedes and Choice chasing back. It's off the fence. And Choice plays the Karen back to the cutoff man. Lindor in with a leadoff double. And we're getting an eyeful out of the man many believe is the #1 prospect in the player development system. Is he that? Is he #1 in your mind? Or you're not allowed to say, are you?
No, he is. Yeah, I mean, he clearly separates himself in so many ways. You know, there really isn't one thing you can say that is going to limit him. You know, now that there's still time will tell ultimately what he is and whether or not he's an everyday player, an all-star, or even. You know, is he a consistent all-star? Is he an all-star in and out? You know, that's what it's going to be, is the determining factor. And it's just, he's such a hard guy to sell short in any way, just because of his commitment.
And you told me too that the thing that you really like about him is his acumen and his a willingness to continue to want to learn. And it's just the game itself. Talk the game, not just here's my stats, look how good I am, kind of a thing.
No, he in every way, whether it's, you know, doesn't matter the staff member. It doesn't matter if it's Travis Fryman with 15 years of major league experience, or, you know, Johnny Gorel, who's been around the game for a long time but coming from a different vantage point, or Anthony Medrano, who never played in the major leagues. He wants to learn from anybody and everybody and treats everybody with the same respect.
Nice play at shortstop by Lowry. 1 down as Lindor holds at second.
Lindor being a switch hitter, is he better from the left side or the right side?
You know, I mean, he's a little bit more comfortable from the left side, but that really probably is just because he sees more right-handed pitching.
Right.
And, you know, there's not anything that's limiting him right-handed. I mean, as you see in that last at-bat.
Put a nice stroke on the ball.
It's short, and there's plenty of strength.
Here's Carlos Santana. Drove in a run in the first with a sacrifice fly. And takes a strike.
Well, the minor leagues are breaking them just about the same time the major leaguers do, don't they? They were only going to be here for, what, 3 weeks, other than some of the guys that you brought down early.
Right. Well, so we'll bring in a select group that are here for close to 6 weeks.
Right.
And that really is our core group of young prospects. And then there's a big number of them that are in Major League Spring Training. So we take the rest of the guys that we see as being the future of the Cleveland Indians, make sure they're here for a long time. And then the guys that, have an uphill battle are here for a shorter stint, and they know that. They know that, the path isn't as wide open for them, but they still got plenty of an opportunity. We're going to play 144 games,
yeah.
So, but we're making sure that the development path is more aligned with a major league players for our young prospects.
Well, as many pitchers as you had in camp, like Mickey Callaway told us, we talked to him last inning, and he says, we had to get a lot of minor league innings for our guys, which, you have to go down and say, hey, we got to make sure we get this guy so many pitches, and it's going to push some of your pitchers back, getting their work done.
Hard hit ground ball right at the second baseman Sogard. He'll take care of Santana, 2 down. Lindor moves to third.
It's been interesting this year for us. It's been, really that is a seamless process to work with our major league staff. It has a lot to do with the way we're set up, has a lot to do with our culture here. It starts with Mark, starts with our ownership and Chris and how cohesive people are. But it's been interesting with a new major league staff with Tito coming in, Brad Mills coming in, Ty Van Berkeley. We've never worked with these guys, a little bit with Tito. But it has been absolutely seamless for us. And Mickey was obviously here, so that was helpful.
Right.
But it has not felt like a transition at all. And I think that has a lot to do with, our ownership and them being wanting us to be cohesive and committing the resources. But it has everything in the world to do with Tito's approach to it, his leadership style.
One pitch swung on and missed. I know you have to be excited about young Trevor Bauer, who will be in the minor league system to start the year. Who are some other pitching prospects that you're excited about?
Well, you just look at the AAA rotation with Carlos Carrasco, in it, and Corey Kluber in it. I mean, those guys have a lot of upside, and there's a lot of development that can still happen with them. And then in AA, TJ House and Danny Salazar. Danny Salazar is up to 98 miles an hour last year, an average breaking ball, above average changeup, youth on his side. Missed a lot of 2011 and 2012, didn't pitch a full season. So, we're extremely excited about some of the developments of our pitching depth, and we'll see what happens with Giovanni Soto. And then there's a couple of real interesting pitchers from the recent drafts, and Mitch Brown, Jacob Lee, Cody Anderson. But there is, we're going to have to separate ourselves. We're going to have to. Each guy's going to have to get better. But there's no question. There's depth there and there's talent there.
Well, it's nice too when you find a diamond in the rough, and I don't mean that it's not a knock on Cody Allen at all. But when you pick a guy that late in the draft to get to the big leagues as fast as he did, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's an incredible job by Bobby Mayer, Brad Grant, John Mirabelli, the scouting department, because it was creative. It wasn't just luck. It was looking at a guy a different way. It was seeing him in different points of the time, and I think it came down to on Cody Allen was Bobby Mayer seeing him for so long that he knew what was in there, and a lot of guys didn't see him as much as he did.
Ross, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the time as always and your insights.
All right, Matt, thank you for having me.
All right, Ross Atkins, Indians Director of Player Development. We are tied at 2 after 3. Fourth inning here in Goodyear, Arizona. The A's and the Indians knotted up at 2 apiece. Brandon Moss, Seth Smith, Josh Donaldson due up for Oakland as Zach McAllister begins his 4th inning of work. And the first pitch outside for ball 1. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning up here in the booth, joined now by Indians general manager Chris Antonetti, who's had a busy couple of days as he finalizes the Indians roster. Final cuts made yesterday. A lot of conversations having to take place. Some of them were good conversations and some of them were tough conversations. But now that that's all out of the way, how do you feel about the overall composition of the roster as you get ready to break camp now?
I feel good about the roster. I think we're excited by the fact that we've got through most of spring without having any significant injuries, which is always an important part. And then we've had some other guys really step up in camp. I think some of the non-roster guys that we added to the roster, and Scott Kazmir and Ryan Rayburn especially, have had very good camps and fit our team very well. And Jason Giambi, when he's healthy, and he'll add a component to our team of not only what he brings on the field but his leadership off the field. So overall, we like how the roster's taking shape. When you came to Goodyear, did you foresee Kazmir really pitching his way onto the roster, or did you see more of a development, in a situation where maybe at some point this year he could pitch into a situation to help? Oh, I knew it from the beginning. Did you? Okay. No, with Scott, it was hard to. We like what we'd seen, in the winter, and we got favorable scouting reports back. But the honest answer is we didn't know exactly what to expect because he hadn't really pitched in a major league setting in a year and a half. But from the very first pen Scott threw in spring training, it was clear that the ball was coming out of his hand. His delivery, he had cleaned it up from the last time we had saw him in the major league, so it was evident he was in a better spot. And we didn't know exactly how that would translate, and especially once we started to build up his innings and his pitches, would he be able to maintain that stuff? And I think what we've seen is actually his arm strength has continued to build throughout spring training, and we're now starting to see even more consistency with the secondary stuff.
He was a guy when he was pitching well with Tampa, he could throw the fastball by you upstairs, 92, because he'd get ahead of you with breaking stuff and throw change-ups, but he could strike you out upstairs. And he did that this year in the spring. So his velocity was back to, 92, almost 93.
Yeah, he's touched 94 this spring. He's pitched pretty comfortably 91, 92-ish. So if he can maintain that velocity and pitch ahead in the zone, as you mentioned, or ahead in the count, as you mentioned, and then mix in his secondary stuff, he's got a chance to be effective.
Now, there were a number of other roster moves yesterday of interest. A lot of fans were, they saw Jason Giambi will start the year on the disabled list, and immediately, well, why did you sign a guy that's already 43 years old? I mean, you knew this was going to happen, but this is more a case of truly erring on the side of caution because you want him for the whole season, not just to be there on day one.
That's it, and it's really a short-term injury with Jason. The reason we added him to the roster today was actually so we could have him back sooner in the start of the season, so he didn't have to miss 15 regular season days. But he's actually been healthy for most of camp. We're not going to ask him to play 5 or 6 days a week. It's a couple of days a week against right-handed pitching. Get a pinch hit at bat against off the bench, and then provide some leadership for some of the other guys on the team.
I didn't realize the DL was retroactive into spring training. I thought it started right on day one. It does not.
It does not. Yeah.
Right.
So we're able to use these days in spring training to count towards the 15 days.
Right. So you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Jason or Rick?
Had to be Jason. I'm not old yet.
Jason's a lot bigger. I meant that for Rick. There's a base hit by Josh Donaldson to keep the inning alive.
It's got to be Donaldson. This guy killed us last year. He's 2 for 2. I mean, this guy, it's just something about it. He ended up playing well against us, and here he goes. He's 2 for 2 today.
Well, there is something against the Indians with Donaldson, because I mentioned his first time up, he had a string of 30 consecutive at-bats without a walk. 30 consecutive plate appearances without a walk last year. Then in a game against Cleveland, he had his first 2 career walk games.
Of course. That's the way it works.
Sure.
John Jaso walked his first time up. Whoops, one foul, third base side.
It's like Mike Redmond. He had struggled against every pitcher in baseball, but he owned CeCe.
Yeah, I remember that game he beat us.
The double to right field.
Double to right field. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he had a lot of games like that.
And you know what? The funny thing of it is, his career ended in Cleveland when he was thrown out at first base on a base hit.
That's exactly what I remember.
Right field.
Right field.
That's right.
That's right.
And he's managing the Marlins now. Go figure.
What a good guy.
Yeah, the Red Dog.
Runner first, 2 down, top of the 4th.
Sometimes when you're a young player and you get off to a good start against one team, it just carries over. Whenever you see that uniform, you just happen to go off and things go your way. We're going to have to send Donaldson out on a news assignment. Sam Donaldson, get out of here.
Not allowed in Cleveland.
That's right.
Detain him at security at the airport.
That's a balk.
with a balk. That'll force Donaldson to second base.
Well, let's get this out. The first inning, he had 2 outs, nobody on, and ended up giving up a couple. Let's see, close this inning out here.
Good pitch. And the count now 0-2 on John Jaso. Drew a walk back in the second inning.
You ready to get out of here? It's been a long spring, hasn't it?
With the WBC, it ends up being a long spring, and I just want to get out of here healthy.
Right.
Not me personally.
That goes without saying.
I'm less concerned if I'm healthy as I am with that guys being healthy.
McAllister able to cover the bag to end the top half of the fourth, and we remain tied at 2. We'll continue with Chris Antonetti right after this. Two our score, bottom of the fourth inning. Ryan Rayburn, Jordan Henry, and Giovanni Urshela due up for the Indians. Brett Anderson has given up 2 runs on 4 hits. Ryan Rayburn flied to right his first time up. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, joined once again by Indians general manager Chris Antonetti. Final roster cuts made yesterday, and so now the Indians have everybody ready to go to start the regular season a week from today in Toronto against a very good and much improved Blue Jays team. And Chris, there's been a lot of talk about the great off season you had, but certainly there have been some other teams that made a lot of moves in the off season. Maybe nobody more than the Toronto Blue Jays. They've really remade their team on the fly.
They have. I mean, whether it's their rotation, their bullpen, their position player club, they made a lot of changes and a lot of improvements. So. Like us, though, it doesn't matter. Once a game started, it's all about how many games you win.
Nobody cares about winning the offseason, do they?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So you just have to win games.
Ryan Rayburn sends one high and foul and drifting out of play.
I see where they start with Brett Lowry on the DL. He was placed on there today, their third baseman.
He's a good player.
Yes, he is.
Doesn't break my heart he won't be there for those 3
it's
games.
all timing. But we open up against the National League East. That's who we're going to play in interleague play all year long. So we get to Toronto, and then Tampa, and then, of course, we go home. We get the Yankees and then the White Sox before an off day. That's sort of strange for us, isn't it? I mean, I always remember a couple of off days where they send their number 5 starter back down here to get work. You need 5 right out of the chute.
We do. Typically, teams try to protect their the opening day and have an off day after that. But it's a great swing.
Wow, Ryan Rayburn with a home run to the opposite field, a solo shot, his 5th of the spring, and it gives the Indians a 3-2 lead. And I believe that's a team high 5 home runs for Ryan Rayburn.
He's always been pretty good in the spring, but he has really hit the ball hard. Even on a lot of his outs, he's hit the ball right on the nose.
He has. He's put up quality at bats all spring. That's
great fastball hitter too.
Yep.
He stayed with it. If any, let's say, have you had any surprises here this spring, Chris, for anybody that's really, I mean, you had to do a double take or open your eyes, or is it pretty much what you expected?
Yeah, for the most part, it's been what we've expected. I think some of the new guys in the organization we've been really pleased with. I think a guy like Jan Gomes, who came in, we had hoped that he'd be able to catch and could contribute offensively, and we were really encouraged what we saw on both sides of the ball. Offensively, put up really good at bats, and defensively, we think he's got a chance to be a pretty good catcher.
But you want to see him catch every day to prove to you that he can be an everyday catcher.
That was the consideration as we were looking to shape the roster. Obviously, Lou's done a very good job in that backup role, and it's not a role that plays a lot in our team with Carlos getting the bulk of the at bats. So we felt it was best for Jan to go and catch regularly in AAA and develop as a catcher.
Chris, how important a season is this for that guy, Jordan Henry, at 24 years old now? I know he's coming off knee surgery. He's got the great speed. He's got over 200 stolen bases in his career in the minor leagues. But is he getting to that point where he's got to make that big push?
It is an important year for him because he did miss a year with microfracture surgery and just still actually recovering from it. And this year he should be unencumbered by it and needs to go out and play. He's a very good defender in center field, and he's got great speed and a good approach at the plate.
Giovanni Urshela lifts one in the air to center field. And Michael Choice will make the catch for out number 1. Henry retreats to first. You got a little look at Tyler Naquin in big league camp this year before he went back, and your top pick a year ago. What do you like about him, and how quickly do you anticipate he would move through the system?
In terms of timing, it's hard to say how quickly a guy will move. A lot of times they dictate that based upon how they go out and perform. But in Tyler, he's got a ton of ability. I think as we've seen, he's made the transition to center field exceedingly well. He was predominantly a right fielder in college because they had an exceptional defender in center, but we thought he had the attributes to be a center fielder. So that's where he'll play for us. He's got a cannon for an arm, as we saw the other day. Good approach at the plate. He's got some speed. So we think he's got a chance to be, contribute on both sides of the ball.
1-0 pitch fouled right back to the screen by Jose Ramirez, who had a 2-out opposite field RBI single in the second inning. We talked to Ross Atkins, who was very high on Ramirez for obvious reasons, and a number of the guys were seeing his game here this afternoon. But of course, the primary focus for our fans watching at home is the regular season, the big league club. Runner takes off, and there's the great speed by Henry, and he's easily into second base with the steal.
He took off on first movement, and there was no question he was going to steal that one.
And that right there from Jordan Henry is what we hope to see more of this year from the big league club, that speed element. Not that they're going to go out and steal a ton of bases, but just the element of speed and how that can disrupt the flow of a game for the pitcher.
Yeah, I think we'll have a chance to steal some bases, and I think as importantly, we'll have the ability to run the base as well and take advantage of going first to third and scoring from first on doubles and things that haven't necessarily been a strength of our team in the past. I think the way we're constructed right now, we should have the ability to score runs in a variety of ways, not rely just on the home run, but be able to get guys on base, move guys over, and steal some bases.
Well, that's the thing about it. This team will strike out a lot. I mean, just the nature of the beast, and that's with the hitters. But if the right hitters get on base, let's say, I don't care, base hit or walk, you have the opportunity to steal second, hit a ground ball and sac fly to get him in, where you don't have to, get 2 or 3 hits in a row to score them.
That's right. I think, again, it's a balance. We feel like it's going to be a balanced offensive team that has got right-handed hitters, left-handed hitters, switch hitters. So hopefully it'll lead to a lot of runs scored.
Okay, my partner over here is of the belief, and I understand where he's coming from, that batting average is for the most part an overrated statistic. The A's proof is in the pudding. The lowest batting average of any team to ever make the postseason a year ago, and yet they still found a way to do it. Where are you in terms of the sabermetric analytics and how it plays into today's game?
Well, batting average, it's important to some degree, but I'm not sure it's the most overriding thing. I think ultimately what it comes down to is your ability to get on base and your ability to drive those guys in. So you need to try to score runs. The things that matter most are, and the best way to do that is to not make outs. And one of the things that measures that well is on base percentage. So I think that matters individually probably a little bit more than batting average.
All right, the side is out, but the Indians take the lead on the impressive home run by Ryan Rayburn, his team leading 5th of the spring. Tribe on top 3-2. Chris Antonetti, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Luck to you this year.
My pleasure.
The Indians now lead the A's 3-2, fifth inning here in Goodyear. Michael Choice will lead it off for Oakland. He'll be followed by Eric Sogard and Jed Lowry. Choice is a good-looking prospect for Oakland. He is 23 years old. He hit 30 homers in his first full pro season at High A back in 2011. But, you know, it goes back to what we were just talking about. In an attempt to cut down on the strikeouts, he went to a little bit of a different swing to cut down on the Ks, but he only hit 10 home runs.
Well, the thing of it is, when you get down into A ball or Double A, where the pitchers are all over the place, you know, the control gets better, and they can pound weaknesses when you get to the big leagues. So they don't mind if you go ahead. That was a really good swing on a baseball right there.
I'll tell you what, he put a charge into it for a line drive. That was screaming through the infield.
Down middle of the plate again. He's left some balls middle of the plate, and that's what Zach has to do. Stay out of the middle, hit the edges. You can say that about any pitcher.
Eric Sogard 0 for 2. He has struck out, popped up. Missed just inside. Eric Sogard is a hometown boy, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, played at Arizona State. Came to the A's from the Padres along with Kevin Kuzminoff in a deal for Scott Hairston and Aaron Cunningham back in January of 2010.
Ah, tattoo.
Runner goes, and it's ripped to right field, a base hit. Down into the corner it goes. Choice flying around third. He'll be waved home. He'll score easily. And it's an RBI double for Eric Sogard. And the A's come right back to tie it at 3-3.
Well, that lead didn't last long. 2 hitters. And we have a new ball game. It's 3-3. Let's look at the location. Sitting there again, middle in. And a pitch that Sogard's able to turn on, drill it down into the corner. He doesn't run very well. He gets the double, but he knocks him in from first base. So now Oakland with 7 hits.
Jed Lowry taking the strike. One ball, one strike. To center field, Henry makes the grab. Sogard tags, and he does make it to third. One away. So a productive out for Lowry.
Well, single game tickets are on sale for this season, and you can buy early and save on seats for 4 replica jersey giveaways throughout this year. Jason Kipnis will have one, Michael Brantley, and also Nick Swisher and Michael Bourne. Log on to Indians.com promotions.
Josh Reddick, a 2-out triple in the first that led to Oakland's first run of the game. Bounced into a fielder's choice his last time up. The Indians bring the infield in. And the pitch nicks the outside corner for strike one. And the 0-1 is fouled back out of play. This goes back to our conversation we were starting to get into when the inning ended with Chris Antonetti, and that is the idea of the strikeout and its importance in the game. And you know, situational hitting ultimately dictates this is a case where you got to put the ball in play, or
well, you would
at least
like
that's
to.
what you want to do as a hitter.
Yes, that's your goal as a hitter. The infield's in, and I always felt, and people will tell you that with the infield in, it just makes you that much better of a hitter because your angles of getting the ball over their head or on the ground, getting it through the hole to get that runner in from third. The reason why they play the infield in is they're banking that if you hit a ball right at them, they got to play at the plate to stop the run. So they're going to play it in at this point in the ball game just to check and see. But as a hitter, you look for a ball you can elevate. Now he's down in the count 0-2, and McAllister has a good opportunity to see if he can get him to chase something. Wouldn't do it.
He did. He went around.
There you go.
And he gets the strikeout. 2 down.
He did get him to chase. So there you have it. So far, good job right there by McAllister, getting a tough hitter to chase that break a ball down. Look at him. I don't know. Looking at it again. Let's look at it from this angle. We'll get an idea. That was close. I've seen it. I've seen people go farther and they didn't call it, but the home plate umpire called it, and they're saying something from the dugout over there in Oakland, and he's saying no way. And I think as a hitter or as a team, you're saying get help. You didn't see it. That's what they're saying for the most part.
We've seen the home plate umpires make more of an effort to make that call on their own as opposed to going for the appeal every time.
Well, in that situation.
High drive, deep left field, and goodbye. Hit the back wall of the bullpen. Yoenis Cespedes, his 4th home run of the spring. It's a 2-out, 2-run homer and a 3-run 5th inning for Oakland.
Boy, oh boy, did a good job to get to the second out and the strikeout there, and then hangs a breaking ball. So 4 of the 5 runs scored by Oakland this afternoon have come with 2 outs. And watch the breaking ball. See, it spins. You've got to spin it or bounce it like you did to Reddick. When you get a dangerous hitter up there like Cespedes, you do not hang the breaking ball. You'd rather bounce it. That one will not come back.
And Oakland now leading at 5-3. Brandon Moss 1 for 2. 2-out RBI double in the first. Goes the other way. Again.
Trying to do the same thing as he did in his first at bat.
He had a little jam job his first time up that dropped in fair territory just down the left field line. And a 1-2 pushes him back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down here in the 5th. And Oakland surging ahead now 5-3. Again, it's out of play. Ooh, awfully good looking pitch. And it's a full count.
Well, you can't make a better pitch than there. 2 strikes, the ball on the inside corner. Just didn't get the call.
Broke his bat. And Lindor grabs it at short. Yoenis Cespedes tees off with a 2-out, 2-run homer. Oakland now on top 5-3. Bottom of the 5th inning. Oakland on top 5-3. Zach McAllister surrendering a 2-run homer, part of a 3-run top half of this inning for Oakland. Top of the order for the Indians, Francisco Lindor, who doubled his last time up. He doubled to lead off the 3rd, but they couldn't get him home. Bangs this one up the middle. Big hop for Nakahima, and the shortstop throws him out. Hiroki Nakahima just entering the game for Oakland. Now let's take a look at some of those other defensive changes. Nate Freeman is now in at first. Nakahima, the shortstop. Now in left field is Chad Oberacker. Mike Avilés tripled and scored in the 1st for the Indians. Grounded out his last time up. Way outside. Chopped on the ground between 3rd and short. And the shortstop Nakahima. A second very good play already this inning by the A's shortstop. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, genuine buzz about the Indians. Aaron Kraft compared to Tim Tebow? Huh? And how Terry Francona is changing the Tribe. Get complete coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports throughout the afternoon and evening on FoxSportsOhio.com. Carlos Santana drove in a run on the 1st with a sac fly. Bounced out to 2nd his last time up. Santana taking. It's a called strike and a full count. Right down the 3rd baseline, but foul. Payoff pitch. Hit on the ground to 2nd base. And Sogard throws him out. The Indians go 1-2-3 for the first time today. 5 complete. It's the A's 5 and the Indians 2. 5-3, A's on top. Zach McAllister back out here for the 6th inning. Left-hander Nick Hagedorn is up and getting loose in the Indians bullpen, so that leads you to believe that Zach's out here to start the inning, but he's probably getting close to his pitch limit for the day. Seth Smith 0 for 2. He has twice grounded to second base. Hit on the ground to second base, and Jose Ramirez will flip it over. 1 down.
Well, single game tickets on sale for this season. You can buy early and save on seats for bobbleheads for 2 of the tribe's all-time favorites. Albert Bell bobblehead will be June 1st. That is presented by Medical Mutual. And then on July 8th, it'll be Omar Vizquel, presented by Key Bank. So go to Indians.com promotions to get the information.
Down low, ball 1 for Josh Donaldson. 2 hits on the day. Foul back out of play. Hard hit ground ball to second.
Hey, they got him out.
And Ramirez flips it over. 2 away. Fox Saturday Baseball returns with 3 great matchups as Angels outfielder Josh Hamilton returns to Texas to take on the Rangers. The Yankees battle the defending AL champ Tigers, or the Cardinals take on the World Series champion Giants in a rematch of the NLCS. The debut of Fox Saturday Baseball is April 6th. That's going to do it for Zach McAllister. He goes 5 2/3 innings today here in Goodyear. Nick Hagedorn is coming on when we come back.
Well, get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the Cleveland Indians with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. So get set for spring at the official source of Indians.com shop.
John Jaso will lead off the, or I should say he will bat with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Nick Hagedorn delivers. It's fouled out of play. Hagedorn has made the Indians ball club to start the regular season. Now, just how long he sticks is anybody's guess. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in our telecast. Because Carlos Carrasco makes the club to start the year to serve his 6-game suspension, he's likely to go out right after that 6th. Not likely. Chris Antonetti and Terry Francona told us he would go back and start the year at AAA. So you've got some roster moves. When Giambi comes off the DL, he'll be activated. So you're going to carry extra pitchers to start because you don't have any off days. And you'll have decisions to make when those roster moves need to be made early in the season. Up the middle, nicely played by Lindor, and he throws him out with a spin move to end the inning. And Lindor showing you that great range at shortstop and tremendous hands. Five-3 Oakland on top. Zach McAllister's day is over. Bottom of the 6th inning, Matt Carson leads off. First ball swinging, bounces it to short. Nakahima, wide throw, but a nice stretch by Freeman for out number 1. New second baseman is Scott Sizemore, and now over at third base for Oakland is Andy Perino. Well, at FoxSportsOhio.com headlines piqued my interest, so I had to check it out. A story about Aaron Kraft potentially being compared to Tim Tebow. You might be surprised at who is a big fan of Aaron Kraft. And you have to log on to FoxSportsOhio.com to check out the story to see just who is a big fan of Aaron Kraft, and it has nothing to do with Tim Tebow. If that guy likes your game, you're doing something right.
You would think so.
Ryan Rayburn looks at a ball up high. Rayburn homered to right center his first time up. He's had a terrific spring, and the Indians are well aware of what happened last year to Rayburn in Detroit. He went from a guy who's a utility player, and all of a sudden he was an everyday player, and he struggled early in the season and just wasn't able to get on track. And as Terry Francona said, that's why he was available. That's why he's here. Had he had a good season, he wouldn't have been available. But they feel like his short swing coming off the bench, he can definitely help this team during the season. That's it for Brett Anderson. We've got a timeout here in the 6th. Evan Scribner is the new pitcher now for the Oakland A's. Indians with 1-on-1 out here in the home half of the 6th inning. Right-hander pitched in 30 games last year and a 2.55 ERA. Jordan Henry, left-handed hitter, had an infield hit, stole the bases last time up. Back with a dive is Rayburn. Henry takes a strike. It's 0-2. Jordan Henry was an 8th-round pick out of the University of Mississippi back in 2009. And a pitch up high, ball and 2 strikes. And as we heard from Chris Antonetti earlier today, coming back from microfracture surgery, that can be very troublesome, as we know from experience with Grady Sizemore.
Yeah, it takes a lot longer than normal surgery. That microfracture is tough.
Oh, what a pick at first by Freeman. Goes to second for 1, but they won't get the speedy Henry.
Boy, he hit it right on the nose.
2 down. Rayburn erased on the force out.
Now there's one you think you hit it well, and off comes the first baseman and makes a pick on the backhanded side. So instead of going first and third, they get the force out at second. Of course, he does beat it out at first base, but a good play. This wasn't, he needed another foot towards second base, and he might have had himself a base hit.
Giovanni Urshela singled and scored in the second. Fly to center his last time up. The country of Colombia does not produce a ton of major league talent, but we've seen 2 of their better. Hobert Cabrera.
Right.
And his brother Orlando also briefly with the Indians. Urshela making a bid to be maybe the next great Colombian baseball player. Certainly he's going to get an opportunity, Rick. And he's got a great arm, good defensive skills at third. And if the bat plays, as they say, he'll move his way through the system. Again, he's another young player at 21. Runner goes. Ball to strike, throw down. Not even in the same area code. That's how fast Henry is. Second stolen base of the game.
Good jump. Remember, he stole his last base up. Brett Anderson, the left-hander, had a great jump and had no question about this one. Plenty of time. But he is in scoring position now.
229 career stolen bases in the minors. So for Henry, it's just a matter of staying healthy and being able to play every day and maybe use that speed to get himself closer to the big leagues. Down the right field line, Reddick on the move. He makes the catch on the run on the warning track to end the inning. Reddick with a fine running catch to end the 6th. And the A's stay in front 5-3. 5-3, the A's on top. 7th inning, Chris Perez now on the hill for the Indians. And for Perez, it's his first appearance since he had that shoulder injury earlier in camp. But the fortunate side of that is that it happened early enough that he was able to rest it, and he still feels like he'll have enough appearances to be ready to go for opening day.
Well, Mickey Callaway told us he is ready to go. It's just a matter of time. You know, Chris Perez last year was the oblique strain in the first warm-up session on the bullpen mounds, and he was back, but he said that one was worse. And this was the shoulder strain, but he realized, there's no hurry. Let me just sit down and get out of there, and I'll be ready to go by the time the season starts, and it seems like he will be.
Out of play. Michael Choice, Singleman scored his last time up.
I think the biggest disappointment was Chris wasn't able to pitch with the WBC.
Yeah, for him.
That's what happened. And, he had to step down because of that. He was looking forward to it, but ended up losing that opportunity.
They blew it by Michael Choice. One away here in the 7th.
Good heater. Outside edge. Right on by you.
That had that explosive quality to it. Eric Sogard doubled in a run and scored in the 5th for Oakland. 1 for 3. I beg your pardon, Scott Sizemore, who came in for Eric Sogard, now at the plate.
Boy, when he stays tight with his delivery, that fastball, he just dots the outside corner with it. Sometimes, he's a max effort guy and he has a tendency to overthrow, and that ball can move a lot on him. But when he stays short and tight.
Little slider that missed the mark. 2-2. Back out of play. Sizemore missed last year with a knee injury, and chop to third. Urshela stays down on it. High throw though off the mark.
Well, the play's right in front of him. He just gets a little lackadaisical on that throw instead of getting it up and getting it over. A lot of times at third base you have time to pump it into the glove and make that throw, but you have to be consistent. And that one was offline. That'll go as an error.
Talked about how strong his arm is. Strength and accuracy don't always go hand in hand.
No, but at third base sometimes it fools you because a lot of times you don't have to throw it hard to get it there, like right there. So you got to find an arm angle where you can just flip it.
Yeah.
But you got to do it earlier. Sometimes you have a tendency to get a little too lazy when you have a good arm and the ball takes off on you, as that one did on him.
You almost wonder if that's what happened to Dale Murphy early in his career. He was a catcher, but he kept throwing it in the center field from behind the plate, and they moved him to the outfield. Next thing you know, you got an all-star outfielder.
Yeah. When it comes to throwing, we call it the thing in baseball, whether you're second baseman, third base, doesn't matter where, pitcher, catcher, where sometimes you just have issues and it gets into your head. And then every time you get the ball and you have a little time to think about it, all of a sudden, the thing creeps in.
Slow chopper up the middle. Lindor steps on the bag and turns a double play. He has been sensational this afternoon here in Goodyear with the bat, with his glove, and with his arm.
Well, the Indians are rolling back prices on your favorite ballpark food for every game at Progressive Field this year. You get $4 12-ounce domestic beers, $3 hot dogs, $2 soda refills, and 15 times throughout the course of the year there will be dollar dog nights, not to mention the lower prices on nachos, pretzels, popcorn, and more.
Well, another gorgeous day here in Goodyear, our final spring training game telecast. We'll have editions of Spring Training Daily, however, coming your way the rest of the week. We'll have another installment tonight at 9:30 Eastern Time on Sports Time Ohio, as well as tomorrow night, Thursday night, and Friday night. And then it's all aboard for Toronto, and Rick and I will greet you next Tuesday night from the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for opening day as the Indians take on the Blue Jays, and that will be a 7 o'clock Eastern start.
Yeah, it's 3 7 o'clock games in Toronto, isn't it? On Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right. Grant Balfour on now for Oakland. Well, we've watched this guy for a number of years. Minnesota, Tampa, Oakland. He just continues. It seems like he gets better every time he's just
he started the year out with him and was their closer for a while, then lost that job, and then came back and did a really nice job for him towards the end. He ended up being their closer at the end of the year. And he's a tough guy, man. He not maybe the best with the most overpowering stuff, but he comes at you and he battles you. And he's got that the guts, man. He's got the backbone to come after you.
Jose Ramirez, a switch hitter, had an RBI base hit with 2 outs in the second inning, flied out his last time up. Again, there's a lot of positive feelings about Ramirez, who's just 19 years old. And over his 2 years in the minors, he's hit a combined .342. But he's not very big. He's 5'9". But they say they love the fact he's scrappy, hard-nosed, switch hitter. Obviously has good wheels.
Well, that's the great thing about this game of baseball. You don't have to be a physical specimen to play it. You can be a talented young guy and do a lot of little things right, fundamentally sound player, and be very successful in this game.
He's facing one of the top relievers in baseball, though. Hasn't faced too many arms like Grant Balfour, I don't suppose, down in the minor leagues yet. Speaking of the minor leagues, we didn't have a chance to get into this with Chris Antonetti or Ross Atkins earlier, but the Indians officially, as that pitch is chopped towards second base, Sizemore will flip it, and Ramirez retired one away. The Indians officially signed Daisuke Matsuzaka and Matt Capps to minor league contracts. So after all is said and done, they both have accepted their assignment. They will go to AAA, and that's really a very nice luxury for the Indians to have two veteran guys, one a starter, one a reliever, go down. They're there until at least June the 1st. And should the Indians have a need or somebody goes down, they've got two veteran guys who can help out.
Right now, as we mentioned throughout the course of the spring, it's tough to catch on with anybody, because they had options to get out of their contracts. They didn't have to do it. But I think pretty smart, if they want to continue their career, they can go down there and strengthen their arm and get back to where they think they could be. And in the meantime, if the Indians don't take them, then maybe somewhere down the line they can go somewhere else. But they could also come right up here and help this club if it needs.
Yeah, because of their veteran years, they have it's an out clause on,
yes,
I think it's June 1st.
A lot of guys get out clauses, and some of them are different depending on how it is negotiated as far as their out clauses. But right now, you're smart to just get on and stick with the team and continue your, to pitch and do your craft, and something may happen. Injury is a big part of this game with every organization.
Looks inside. 2 balls and a strike for Jared Saberin. Saberin is an Indiana University product, undrafted, but signed with the Indians, and he was 3rd in the player development system last year in hits. Had 140 knocks last year and logged the 9th best batting average in the Indian system when he hit .297. You think of Indiana, you think of hoops. But here's a young man who came out of their baseball program, still has an opportunity. Foul back. And as you said, Rick, it doesn't matter if it's March 26th or July 26th. You get a chance to play in a big league game.
It's a big thrill.
It is big.
I don't care. I mean, it's just happy to be in that dugout with the big leaguers. It's a big league game. You have a chance to open eyes. You're young, but you get a taste. It's like getting a taste of ice cream, where your final goal is the big leagues. That's where you want to be.
Saberin grounds out. He's 0 for 3 in his first big league spring training game. 2 down, top of the order, Francisco Lindor. Take a look at how the Indians scored today. Opposite field, 2-out RBI single by Jose Ramirez brought home Giovanni Urshela. Ryan Rayburn went oppo for a home run.
Gave him the lead back in the 4th.
But Yoenis Cespedes reclaimed the lead for Oakland with authority. A 2-run homer, part of the 3-run 5th.
Yeah, they came right back and were able to put 3 on the board against McAllister. And 4 of the 5 scored with 2 outs. If you remember, the 2 in the 1st and then the last 2 in the 5th.
Yeah, there were 2 outs, nobody on base in the 1st inning. And then Josh Reddick tripled. A wild pitch brought him home, and then an RBI double by Brandon Moss scored Yoenis Cespedes, who had walked, to get Oakland the early lead. Francisco Lindor doubled in the 3rd, 1 for 3. The double was impressive because it showed you the pop that he has, but boy, he's been fun to watch in the field defensively here this afternoon. Makes every play look easy. Down in the dirt. And a strike called. Oh, that ball's hammered. Deep right field. Reddick back. Makes the catch on the warning track to retire the side. The Indians go 1-2-3, and we go to the 8th. 5-3 Oakland. Is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. The Oakland Athletics on top 5-3 as we go to the 8th inning here in Goodyear. The Indians go back to their bullpen. Jerry Gill will come on to work. Gill on the spring has gone 2-1 with a 4.15 ERA, and this will be his 9th appearance.
See his numbers last year in Las Vegas.
Josh Reddick will lead it off. Reddick tripled and scored in the first. Bounced into a fielder's choice, struck out since then, but he's made a couple of fine defensive plays in right field.
Yeah, he's the one that got the first inning going with 2 outs and nobody on. Pitch up in the strike zone, got a fastball he hammered into right center field.
In the air, center field. Henry on the move, and Jordan pulls it down, 1 away. Well, Francisco Lindor, we've got a chance to watch him go the distance so far here today, and he's been very smooth defensively.
There's part of that very good double play that was turned earlier in the game, and ranging far to his left, getting the 3rd out of an inning, and he'll turn a double play. Yeah, I'll tell you what, he does look pretty smooth out there. He swung the bat very well at last at bat, 3-1 count. You say get a fastball you can handle, and he hammered it, but it went right to Reddick. It's the first time I've had a chance to see him play, and it's pretty impressive.
I'll tell you, one of the first guys that told me about Francisco Lindor was our good buddy Johnny Gorel. Johnny Gorel is a special advisor in the Indians player development system, and
he's been in the game for well over 50 years.
Over 60 now.
Yeah. Johnny was a coach when I played with the Indians, and he spent a lot of times in Minnesota and managed in his career, so he's a very knowledgeable baseball man and has seen many baseball players come and go.
Rick, this year during the winter meetings, Johnny was honored at a dinner with the Mike Coolbaugh Award. And that was a very special night for Johnny. And it just nice to recognize the guys who are behind the scenes that don't get the headlines or the spotlight, but boy, the hard work they do, working with players, extra set of eyes.
Lifers,
you know,
man. He's a lifer in this game.
They're very important.
And one of the nicest guys, one of the nicest guys around.
Chad Oberacker. I have to say this name right, Chad Oberacker, because he hails from one of our old favorite spots in the Indians Winter Press Tour for many years, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. That's Susie's stop.
Oberacker lifts one to fairly deep left. Avilés is under it, and he's got it for out number 2. Tonight at 9, Katie Witham goes one-on-one with New Indians slugger Nick Swisher. Find out what Swisher thinks about the upcoming season, coming to Cleveland, and the Indians' chances this year. Indians one-on-one with Nick Swisher tonight at 9 on Sports Time Ohio. Katie will join us for opening day in Toronto, and she'll be on all 159 regular season telecasts this year. Nate Freeman took over at first base. And the big guy swings and misses. 0-2. Strike 3 called. The inning is over. And a strong inning for Jerry Gill. Oakland 5, Cleveland 3, bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher now for Oakland. And this is Jordan Norberto, who we got a look at last year. Pretty good left-hander. You see his numbers from last season, 39 appearances. And he'll face Mike Avilés, Carlos Santana, and Matt Carson here in the home half of the 8th. I think the A's made a few more defensive changes as Josh Reddick's day is over, so we got a new right fielder. Might have a new center fielder as well. We'll work on the changes. this late in spring training.
Well, it's center fielder, right fielder, left fielder. That's all.
Norberto fires and Avilés chased one up out of the strike zone. It's 0-2. Mike's set to join us when his day is over, and this, all likelihood, will be his final at bat. So we'll try to hook up with him down in the dugout. He's down on the count, 0-2. And he strikes out. One away. Carlos Santana 0 for 2. Drove in a run in the first on a sacrifice fly. Santana waded back nicely. Lines it to left. We'll get a pinch runner now for Santana, and his day comes to an end.
Well, he picks on a fastball. Get me over. And he hits it in the left field. That's the 7th hit for the Indians. Santana, his first knock of the afternoon.
Bryson Miles takes over at first base to run for Santana. Matt Carson 0 for 3. Takes a strike. Popped him up on the infield. Nakajima, the shortstop, makes the catch, but boy, you could tell he was really fighting that sun. But he hangs on for out number 2.
Yeah,
interesting, Mike, he didn't use the glove to shade at all.
No, he did not. But, you know, that's why his feet were always moving. He was going backwards and backpedaling, and that makes it tougher. If you can get back to your spot, then you have an opportunity to put your glove up and utilize that as a shield for the sun.
Ryan Rayburn, his 4th plate appearance today. He homered in the 4th, walked his last time up. Flied to right way back in the 2nd. Two years ago at the trading deadline, Jordan Roberto was dealt to Oakland by the Arizona Diamondbacks along with Brandon Allen in exchange for Brad Ziegler.
Oh, the sidearm throwing right-hander.
Rayburn pops it up. Second baseman Sizemore makes the catch, and the side is retired. We'll go to the 9th in Goodyear. Oakland 5, Cleveland 3. Oakland on top 5-3 as we go to the 9th inning. Couple of changes for the Indians. New catcher Brian Giralman taking over behind home plate for Carlos Santana. And Justin Toole is now in right field for Ryan Rayburn. Derek Barton leading off for Oakland. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you. Let's go down to the Indians dugout. We're joined now by Mike Avilés, who I'm sure is just thrilled to be here on the air with us after playing 8 innings out in the baked sun on March the 26th. Huh? This is the last place you want to be right now, probably.
This was the first place. This was my first choice. I ran to Bart and I said, hey, you think I can get on the air?
Mike, how camp have gone for you? New team, new surroundings, new teammates, new coaching staff, everything.
Yeah, no, it's been great. You know, I mean, for the most part, it's been unbelievable. You know, the guys on the team are great and get along with my sarcasm. So I kind of like how everything is meshing together, and I think we're going to have a really good team just from a team chemistry standpoint.
Yeah, I liked it. The other day you were riding Kipnis pretty good around the batting cage. It's good to have that.
All the time. He gets on me pretty good, too. People don't know that part. He's just a little more sneaky with his.
Well, this team seems to have a really, I'll use the word interesting blend of young guys like Jason Kipnis and Asdrubal Cabrera, I think, is still in that same category, Lonnie Chisnall. And then you got some veterans like yourself, and you bring in Nick Swisher in. So, I mean, it's really a unique mix to watch how it all works in the clubhouse.
Oh, absolutely. And the crazy part about it is, you know, the guys that got brought in, you know, for this year are guys that are good clubhouse people and have good personalities. So, you know, that goes a long way. I know a lot of people are always talking about clubhouse, you know, chemistry and things like that. And so far, everybody's meshed along really, really well. So I'm expecting nothing but that the rest of the way, and I'm thinking it's going to translate into some good times for the season.
Well, that's a good thing, because if it starts in spring training, now once the 162 begins, that's when it really starts, when the wins and losses start taking place and you see what everybody's made of.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. You know, but I think at the end of the day, when you have enough people around there that, you know, understand that you know it's not physically possible to win 162 games. I mean, you want to win 162 games, but it's just not possible. Nobody's ever done it. So it's, you know, that kind of helped to, you know, hey, let's forget about this game. Let's move forward. Let's get the next bunch of games and that kind of stuff, and just keep the energy relaxed and just having fun. And I think that'll help us, you know, throughout the year.
Andy Perino at the plate right now for Oakland. It's interesting the way you phrase that, Mike. Everybody wants to win. You want to win 162, and you're all pros. Y'all want to play every day. Nobody signs up to say, I want to be on the bench and I'll just play every now and again. So, Mike, how do you check your ego and just embrace the role that you have on a ball club?
You know, at the end of the day, you got to remember that it's going to take all the 25 guys on the roster and then some to win, you know, and to even get into the postseason. Because you look at all the teams that get into the postseason, you look at how many guys they had called up throughout the year, how many guys, random people that got hits to win a game. And, you know, it just takes a lot of people to win throughout the season, because the season's so long. So, I mean, I think it's just keep plugging away and just understand your role and just accept it. The more you fight it, the worse you're going to be as a player. So the more you accept it, the more you understand, hey, look, when I get an opportunity to play, I got to do what I can to help the team win today. And that's all I can control. I can't control tomorrow. I can't control yesterday. So, you know, if I get 4 at-bats today, then I can control these 4 at-bats, and I'm trying to have 4 great at-bats.
Well, Mike, you had an opportunity to go play in the WBC and get to the final game. So that was like playoff baseball, it seemed like, when I watched you guys down in Miami and then out in San Francisco. That had to be a heck of a lot of fun. Nobody can tell me that was spring training.
No, not at all. I mean, it was pretty intense. I was a little mentally worn down at the end there.
I can imagine, man. That was intense.
No, you're definitely, you know, you're into the game, and just the intensity was crazy. It was just something unbelievable. You know, I never could imagine how awesome it would have been. You know, the first time I did it in 2009, I wasn't fully prepared for it and didn't really understand what it was all about. So this time I was more prepared, and I was, you know, ready to, you know, try and do what we can. And, you know, fortunately enough, we were able to get to the final game.
It's an honor to play for your country as well with your homeboys, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's something different. People don't understand, you know, the bond that, you know, we all have, and the, you know, just through playing winter ball and just knowing each other.
Right.
It's just the bond you guys have is just something different.
Now, is Carlos Santana going to hang that over your head all season long?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything other than he brought his gold medal the day after when he came
he
in.
did?
But other than that, he hasn't really said anything about it.
Well, don't let him point up to the sky again at the end of the game like that. We'll have to jump on him.
Oh, the bow and arrow thing?
Yeah, we see him. That doesn't work.
See, but that's Rodney's thing, so
Yeah,
I don't think Carlos will do it.
Pitch is down low to Michael Choice. We're going to show it right now,
I'm getting
Mike.
crushed with water over here. Ryan
yeah.
Rayburn is trying to get on some TV time.
We're showing the Carlos Santana, Fernando Rodney, and then the whole team was on the mound doing it by the end of that WBC.
I mean, they were all just having fun.
Yeah, you're right. They were. That's his gig. That's his deal.
Absolutely. It's a fun time. It definitely was a fun time. You know, they're in there giving their heart and their soul. You know, you can't even get mad at it. They're enjoying what they're doing for a living, and that at the end of the day, you know, that's what it's all about, enjoying, you know, what you're doing for a living.
Yeah, and they were a very good team. Boy.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was really fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. It was definitely a little tough to play against them because, you know, they had good hitters and pitchers.
Yeah.
You know, there was no letdown.
Their bullpen was pretty strong, wasn't it?
Yeah, their lineup wasn't too shabby either.
Well, Mike, you've had a lot of experience in the American League Central Division, you know, with Kansas City, so you know how this division is and how tough it can be. I suppose it's like that in every division. When you play each other 18, 19 times a year, it's tough to really beat up on somebody, and so you kind of have to prepare yourself for a tough grind. Kansas City's going to be better. The Tigers are obviously the defending top dogs. Chicago's going to be good. You know, Minnesota's trying to rebuild things, but this Central Division is a meat grinder, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, like you said, you know, Detroit, you always know they're going to be up there. Chicago, always going to be up there. Kansas City got better with all their starting pitching because they've always had a good lineup and good defense and good bullpen. So, you know, starting pitching got better. So you assume that they're going to be better. You know, Minnesota, I never count Minnesota out because they play such a good scrappy ball game that, you know, even when they do lose, it's a hard game to play. So, you know, I mean, I feel like we've gotten better. So I think it's just going to be an interesting situation. I think it's definitely going to come down to that last month.
You know, the one thing the Indians have to do is play better within the division. They haven't done that the last couple of years. And for me, if you're going to win the division, you have to dominate. And you have to take control of your own division if you want to be up in the upper tier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that one. I mean, you know, this is the division we're going to play against the most. So, you know, I mean, it's okay to beat up on the rest of the league, but I think the biggest thing is to try and win as many games within our division, because if we can win the games outside of our league and then win games we're going to be okay. We're going to be just fine.
And the thing of it is, the 2 out of 3, anytime you play those interleague, you know, in your division games, you know, they're so tightly contested a lot of times. It's that one little thing that gets you over the hump to win that, the series or whatever it is.
Absolutely, I agree. I couldn't agree with you anymore.
Well, since you're going to just continue to agree with it, that's it. We're done with this interview. This has gone far enough. Hey, Mike, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time. I know it's a long day. It's been a long spring. Best of luck to you this year.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
And on that note, the inning is over as Francisco Lindor makes another terrific play at short. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 5-3 Oakland. 5-3, Oakland in front. Bottom of the 9th inning here in Goodyear. Travis Blackley, left-hander, coming on now for the A's. Came over from San Francisco. Nice job last year.
Yeah, anybody they put on the mound seemed to do a good job
right?
for them. You know, didn't matter how much experience they had. Their bullpen was second in the league in ERA. They closed games out well without, you would think, a normal closer, but they had that kind of year. Hung on, and how about them just beating Texas? What would they beat them? 6 out of the last 9 games or something?
It was unbelievable how they ran them down at the end.
Texas had a 5-game lead with 9 to play, and Oakland ended up beating them.
Well, they earned it, that's for sure.
No question.
Todd Hankins is the batter now. Foul back out of play. Todd Hankins was a 15th round pick 2 years ago by the Indians. Florida native. Picked out of Seminole Community College. Last year he led the Indians organization with 33 stolen bases. Cuts and misses. Swung on and missed. Hankins strikes out and 1 away. Had to bring up Chun Chen. Spent the last 2 years in Akron. Last year hit .308 for the Akron Arrows. He was 7th in the player development system in batting average. He was 4th in the Eastern League last year in on-base percentage and 5th in batting average. Was a midseason All-Star for the Arrows. Catcher and a first baseman, and a native of Taiwan. You know, Rick, you think, it seems like over the years, how many Little League World Series did you watch, and it was always a team from Taiwan. Haven't seen many Taiwan recently Major League players. Chop foul. And I know the Indians have talked a lot about Chun Chen. I mean, they really like his game. He's a career .282 hitter in the minor league system. He's always swung the bat well wherever he's been. Not a big power guy, just a high average. There's a blue ball. Left center, it will fall for a base hit.
Ball got in on him a little, but you know, it didn't overswing. And it finds a gap. Drops in for a base hit. It's the 8th hit for the Indians today. So they get the tying run aboard here in the 9th inning.
The other guy that I can think of that was Taiwan who made it in the major leagues was Chen Ming Wang.
And he's back.
He's back with the Yankees again,
yes,
isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's been hurt. Remember that injury to the ankle when he was running the bases, and just has never come back. But he is back with the Yankees this year. I think he'll be at the major league level. We'll see.
Jose Ramirez swings and misses. Ball gets away, and that will enable Chun to go down to second base. So the tying run is at the plate for the Indians here in the bottom of the 9th. Yeah, boy, the Yankees have really been hammered by the injury bug. And it has forced them to really go out scouring for any kind of help they can find. Picked up Ben Francisco after the Indians cut him loose from spring training camp. They made a trade. I don't know if it's been finalized yet for Vernon Wells, but it's been talked about. Derek Jeter, it looks like, will start the year on the disabled list, but like the move with Jason Giambi for the Indians, it's retroactive, so they believe he'll be ready to be activated when the Yankees come to Cleveland. That's at least the initial thought.
Look at that.
Ramirez with his second hit of the game, and he's going to drive in his second run of the afternoon. Chen slipped coming around third, but he gets home all right. Almost looked like he was going to go down when he staggered coming around third base, but how about Jose Ramirez?
Yeah, he's had a good afternoon. Very good afternoon. And I looked at Brad Mills on that base hit. You know, down a run or, you know, up 2 runs and a guy in scoring position, you're just going to throw to second base to not allow that tying run to get in scoring position. You see, he stopped, he hesitated, now he goes, and he almost trips around third, but Brad Mills was saying, come on, get going. He wanted to hold him up, but no, he scores. And now the tying run is on base with 1 out.
And Ryan Rollinger will be the batter.
Yeah, Ramirez is a nice afternoon.
2 hits, 2 RBIs, and very close at first.
Oh, baby, that's a good thing he didn't get picked off. He threw his A move out there, and I'll tell you what, the umpire did wait to the last minute. See, he didn't see him coming to first base, but by the time he applied the tag, he was very smart to go to the outside part of the bag, get the hand in there before they made the tag.
All I can figure is maybe he missed him with that initial tag.
Yes, I think you're right. But now you take the 2-step lead off and don't go anywhere because you are the tying run.
Travis Blackley trying to nail it down for Oakland, but the Tribe has cut it to a 1-run game. Our producer Jim Murphy just passing along word that it is official now. Vernon Wells is a New York Yankee. And in addition, the Yankees have just also signed Lyle Overbay.
Well, they're just signing any bodies that are warm, aren't they, to try and get over there and get some help, weather the storm.
You got Teixeira down, you got Granderson down, you got A-Rod down, and Jeter at least initially.
Well, and they don't have the likes of Chavez coming off their bench, Andrew Jones, who was over there, Russell Martin, who was behind the plate, Teixeira, who's Swisher, who's here. So they've lost a lot.
Well, I was just thinking, Rick, you know, we talked to Mike Sarbaugh the other day, the Indians' first base coach. He's got his hands full right now, trying to keep an eye on Travis Blackley with the young base runner at first.
Yeah, there's not much you can do as the coach. I mean, you just sit over there and watch it. You're going to be very cautious. You just tell him, don't get picked off, kid.
He's trying to help him as best he can, but
no, that's where as a player you shorten your lead and you don't try and get out there and get a good lead because you're not going anywhere. You're not going to steal on him. So you just make sure he goes to the plate before you get that secondary lead. There's some left-handers you just don't do that with. Andy Pettit's one. You can't take off because of their moves.
Curveball missing outside. 2-2 the count for Ryan Rollinger with Francisco Lindor waiting on deck. And Lindor has swung the bat well today. He has a double. That was back in the third. He flied out to deep right his last time up.
Going.
Up and away, full count.
Okay, full count. Now you'll see him throw again over to first base, thinking that maybe he'll take off on the 3-2 pitch, and I still say no. You don't run because you're not going to get a good jump, but you will probably see him throw over there. And he'll give him his A move. You know, look over there, look to home plate, and throw to first base, see if he can get him.
You can see, though, he's having a tough time because that move is so good by Blackley.
That's why you just take your, two-step lead to stay there. Watch him deliver the ball.
Runner goes, it hits up the middle, off the mound, and with the jump, Ramirez gets to third. So good aggressive base running for Jose Ramirez. Now the tying run is 90 feet away, and the winning run is aboard for Francisco Lindor.
I give him credit, man. He did take off. He waited till he went to the plate, and a good job of hitting as that ball goes right up the middle into center field. So Rollinger did a nice job in that at bat. He was down in the count 1-2. Got it the full count. First and third now, 1 out. Indians with a chance to tie the game.
Now here is Lindor with a chance to tie it, potentially win it. Blackley delivers, and it's low, ball 1. Lindor takes, it's a strike. And the count even, 1-1. First and third, 1 out. Last of the ninth. Indians down a run. Hits now even at 10 apiece. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away. Tying run to the plate. He is safe. Winning run to second base.
Well, the Indians gave him one on a wild pitch, and the A's returned the favor here in the ninth. That was a breaking ball in the dirt, and he could not block it. Lindor swung at this ball. See, it's a curveball out in front, and it ricochets off and gets all the way back to the screen. Ramirez comes in to score.
Second wild pitch of the inning. Remember, that's how Chun Chen got into scoring position to begin with.
That's right.
So now,
base hit will end it.
Francisco Lindor could win the game with a base hit.
You may see that breaking ball again in this at bat. 1-2 count. Probably doesn't want to give him anything to swing at or that he can put in play as of right now.
Bounced in front of the plate.
Doesn't surprise me. Come right back with that ball in the dirt, and I could see that catcher getting himself ready to just pounce on anything in the dirt. He wasn't going to let that one deflect off him. Now, you remember first base is open, and I'm sure Blackley realizes, look, I don't have to give in to this guy. I'm going to see if he can get himself out.
Lindor waiting on the 2-2, but Blackley wants him to go through the signs again. Rip foul.
Well, he left that one up, and he took advantage of it. He's had a pretty good look at that breaking ball over the last 3 pitches. He sees that one spinning. He kept his hands back, and that one was high enough for him. He drilled it foul.
Winning run, Ryan Rollinger at second base. The 2-2.
Yep.
Just missed outside, a full count.
The wraparound. That one came around the outside part of the play. Look at that one. Oh, maybe a little bit high.
Tried to frame it, but it did look like it was a bit out of the zone. So here we go on the 3-2 pitch. Lindor strikes out, 2 down.
Came back with a changeup that time. You know, breaking ball, and he figures a fastball situation, and he comes back with the changeup. Pulls the string, good pitch, good location, and a tough out right there for Blackland.
So that will leave it up to Brian Girolamo, the catcher. Girolamo came on for Mike Avilés in the batting order. If the game stays tied, we will play a 10th inning today here in Goodyear. Brian Girolamo last year Double-A, hit 195. Looking for one big hit here to win it, but he pops it up. Nakajima, the shortstop, makes the catch. We've got extra innings here in Goodyear. The Indians come back with 2 in the bottom of the 9th to tie it at 5. Five, 10th inning. The Indians go back to their bullpen. Right-hander Jose Flores. Last year at Carolina. And 2.37 ERA. This will be the 7th professional season for Jose Flores. He'll turn 24 years old on June 4th. Venezuelan native. Career ERA of 4.11. Seems like everywhere he's gone that takes him a little while to adjust. His first year of professional baseball, he had a 6.04 ERA. But the second year in the same league, his ERA dropped to 2.79. in there for a strike. In 2011, Kinston, after spending the previous year at Lake County, his ERA was 6.02, and then last year dropping down to 2.37. At the first baseman, in and out of the glove, and the leadoff man aboard for Oakland.
You know, that ball, it looked like it was going to get over his head, and then he jumps, and I don't know if that ball had top spin or it came down or where it hit him in the glove, but he ended up going up too high.
I think you're right. Chun Chen, he looked like he was in perfect position.
He thought it was going to be higher than what it was, and, you know, maybe deceiving, because sometimes this ball can be tough to be picked up off the bat.
So Nakajima aboard with the potential go-ahead run. Myers bunting. And they get the winning run into scoring position on the sacrifice.
I'll tell you what, he had that guy at second base because he's going out. He's got to come out with a hammy problem. They had him at second base if he chose to go that way. Watch. Plenty of time. And then he ends up going to first base. They did have time to get the lead runner. It looks like his hamstring's bothering him.
That's Nakajima.
There it goes. Yeah, that's gone. It's gone. He has to give up. He was lucky to get to second.
This is a guy that, you know, Oakland certainly has a lot of high hopes for.
Well, he's going to be on the shelf for a little while. It looks like right there, a little twinge in the hamstring.
You know, that's one of those things they always tell you, that a hamstring muscle, it'll cramp and tighten up before it blows, and it looks like that's what happened. It didn't look like that was one of those jobs where,
yeah, it just tore on him.
Full time, yeah, full on blowout.
Oh, he would have went down first. Yeah, so you're right. It could have been a cramp. We will see. They'll go get that looked at. But now there's the go-ahead run getting into scoring position on the sacrifice.
And the pinch runner is Tyler Ladendorf. Chad Oberracker lines it to left field. The catch made. 2 down. Nate Freeman will be the batter now. Foul right back to the screen.
Hey, watch it, Bobby. Watch your face.
Two down in the 10th inning, tied at 5. Go ahead run at second baseman Oakland, and that pitch got him. And that's going to get Derek Barton to the plate.
He just got underneath this one. You can see it backs up, and he doesn't move a bit. And it didn't hit him hard. I don't know if it got a piece of the jersey, just a little piece. So he will take his base.
And a strike is called.
He's just a looker.
Little bit low, 1-1. Well, Derek Barton is a guy who, I mean, just a few years ago, 2010, had a solid year for the A's at 273, homered 10 times, drove in 57, had over 100 walks. But injuries have just derailed his career in the last couple of years. Managed just 67 games in 2011 and 46 a year ago.
Yeah, he was playing some first base, and they had some guys that picked it up on him, you know, when he was injured. And
well, his batting average, you know,
yes,
slumped down to the Mendoza line. That doesn't help. Line to left. And it will drop for a base hit. Here comes the go-ahead run. Throw to the plate. And he is safe. Tyler Ladendorf scores the go-ahead run for Oakland on the base hit with 2 outs by Garrett Barton. And Oakland goes in front 6-5.
Well, there you see, stays inside the baseball and just gets it into left field on a base hit, 1-hopper. And you make a good throw, 1-hop throw, bang, bang at home plate. He gets his foot in and around the tag.
You can see Girolamo was trying to block him from getting to the plate.
Yeah, about a half a step tardy.
Andy Perino, 0 for 1. Takes the ball up high. Jose Flores. With 2 down, falls behind 2-0, and Brian Girolamo going to go out and talk to the right-hander. Derek Barton with an opposite field 2-out RBI single to left, just kind of dumped it in the shallow left field to bring home Tyler Ladendorf with a go-ahead run, and Oakland up a run here in the 10th. Fastball paints the outside corner, 2-1.
Turn the heater on.
Up high, 3 balls and a strike. Flores with the 3-1. And that's fouled back out of play. Indians will finish up exhibition ball here in spring training with games against the White Sox, Padres, Royals, and then the Reds.
Got a few of those starts at noontime, don't you?
Yeah, they're all 12 o'clock starts the rest of the way out here in Arizona. Payoff pitch, the runner at first takes off, and it's ball 4. Now the bases are loaded with 2 down for Luke Montz. So Flores had a line drive by the first batter, Nakajima, that was in and out of the glove of Chen at first. Then a sacrifice bunt, a line out to left. Then he nicked a batter with a pitch. Little flare opposite field RBI hit, now a walk. So it's been a little bit of everything in the inning. But he's given up the lead. And Oakland in danger of really taking command here in the bottom of the 10th. The hit here would really give him a big cushion. Although I'm not so sure there is such a thing in a spring training game.
Yeah, true. Well, the Indians had to score 2 in the 9th to tie it up and send it to extra innings. And now to get out of it, just to stay down by 1 here.
Back out of play. 1-2 the count. Oof. Almost hit him, and now it's 2-2. Flores looks a little frustrated out there. He doesn't seem to have the kind of command that he's expecting to have. He's had a few pitches.
Well, he got away with another one right there. He almost hit this guy twice in this at-bat.
Ball 3 and a full count. The runners will be off with the payoff pitch, and it's in the dirt. Ball 4. 7-5 Oakland. Back-to-back walks by Jose Flores, the second one driving in a run. And the 8th man to bat in the inning will be Michael Choice, who will be batting for the 5th time today. He is 2 for 4 with 2 singles and a run scored.
That's a lot of at-bats, especially when you're hitting the number 9 spot.
Not many guys get 5 ABs in a spring training game.
That's true.
Back out of play.
Oh, just a long strike. Don't worry about it.
Choice looks like a fullback from the waist down. He's got big legs. You can tell that's where he's got power comes from. Bases loaded, 2 down, the 0-2 pitch. And he missed with it up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And just missing, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland will finish up their portion of exhibition baseball. They'll go to San Francisco, play 2 against the Giants, and then Giants will come to Oakland for the game. Francisco Lindor goes to Jose Ramirez for the inning-ending force, but Oakland gets a pair, and they now lead at 7-5, and into the bottom of the 10th. Seven-5 Oakland now. Bottom of the 10th inning. And Oakland as Tyler Ladendorf taking over at shortstop. First ball swinging. Bryson Miles socks one deep, and it's going to short hop the wall in right field. Oh boy. And Miles aboard with a leadoff double to start the bottom of the 10th, and the tying run to the plate for the Indians.
Well, he just went after that and smoked it to right field. First fastball, it's going to say, get me over, let me get a strike in this inning. He didn't spot him a thing. And that ball short hops the wall. So once again, back come the Indians. The tying run will come to the plate. There's no quitting these young Indians, is there? The young Papooses, they keep swinging.
Kurt Young out to talk with Travis Blackley. They have activity in the bullpen. Blackley had a little trouble in the 9th inning, but he didn't give up the lead. Well, he didn't give up the game. Gave up the lead, but the Indians had a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th. But he was able to get out of the jam. But he's right back in it here in the 10th. Matt Carson 0 for 4 on the day.
Carson.
Low, 2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch. There's a strike.
That seems like Blackley's pitch he goes to. You get the right-handers up there, 3-2, the change up to Lindor right there, 2-0. Carson's up there, doesn't go to the fastball, stays with the change up.
Three and one to count. High pop foul, back out of play. And a full count. The set by Blackley, and the left-hander's payoff pitch. Ball 4, 2 on, nobody out, bottom of the 10th. And it looks like Bob Melvin will stay with Travis Blackley. Well, maybe not. There's some stirring now at the bottom of the dugout. He's got Kyler Newby in the bullpen. I don't know if he's ready yet. And he is going to stay with Blackley. Newby looks like he's ready to go if needed.
Oh, he's definitely ready. He's been getting loose. But he says, Blackley, you get into this, you better get out of it.
We will not go beyond this bottom of the 10th. Game is on the line now. Justin Toole, first at bat. Bunt situation. He bunts third base.
Well done.
Sacrifice executed.
He forces the third baseman to field it. Only play is first. So now they get the tying runs in the scoring position. So they'll have a couple cracks at it.
Todd Hankins will get the first shot. With 2 on, 1 out, runners second and third. Base hit would tie the game. Or at least you would expect it would tie the game. Carson has good speed at second base. Swung on and missed. Bryson Miles, the runner at third. Carson at second. And it's low. Good block by the catcher. And the catcher looks like he's in a lot of pain. Luke Montz did a great job to block that ball, and I'm not sure where it caught him. Might have got him up underneath the mask.
I think you're right. Watch, it could be like in the throat where that ball goes down, and yes, that's exactly where it had him. Got him in the Adam's apple. Watch. He kept his head up instead of following it in there, and it got underneath the mask. You see some of those catchers sometimes wear that little protector.
He's got the little extension on the bottom of the mask, Rick, but it looked like it caught him on the side. And that's why the mask didn't help him there. He had his head turned just enough that the ball got underneath there. You can see him pointing to the side where it caught him. But
that can't feel good.
No, not at all.
Throat ball here in the desert, and the 10th inning. He's been in for a while, but he's there. They are tough, boy. He says he's okay.
More than anything, that's got to just scare you. And all of a sudden, your breathing pipe, it gets a little smaller instantly.
You're seeing it. Your job, you got the guy on third base. You're trying to protect it. The next thing you know, it hits you in the neck.
Once again, Todd Hankins ready at the plate. The 2-1 pitch. One hop smash to second. He'll go to first for the out. 2 down. A run scores. It's a 1-run game. The tying run is now 90 feet away, and the Oakland lead is down to 7-6. Hankins gets the RBI on the ground out, but with 2 down, it all comes down to Chun Chen. The set. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. The crowd is hooting on the scoreboard operator because instead of giving a run to Cleveland, he took a run away.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
So instead of it being 7-6, they've got him down 7-4.
That's all right.
That's truly addition by subtraction.
We've got it 7-6. That's the official scoreboard.
The pitch. High pop out of play. Well, they gave him the run back. It's up to 7-5. Eventually they'll get it. Just push that one more run across. Chun Chen at the dish with 2 down, tying run at third. And 2 down with Travis Blackley, the left-hander, taking aim. Up high. Now they've got it. Much to the delight of the remaining patrons here in Goodyear.
Well, I know the count they don't have right, but the score they do. So maybe they can add one more in that run column with a base hit here.
Breaking ball hit on the ground is short. Newby fires and they got him. So that'll end the ball game as Oakland hangs on for a 7-6 victory here this afternoon over the Cleveland Indians. Entertaining ball game and really a lot of fun to get a first-hand look in a major league setting at a number of the Indians' very talented young prospects, in particular Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez. They were fun to watch, and I'm sure Terry Francona got a real kick out of watching them play today.
Well, Lindor, the switch hitter, the #1 draft pick, he looked very well today, both offensively and defensively. They turned a couple of double plays, and he handled his position flawlessly. And you can tell he plays with a little confidence. You know, those guys, those high draft picks, they carry themselves a little differently than other guys. And Lindor, that was the first time I've had an opportunity to see him play, and I'll tell you, I like the way he handles himself on the field.
And Jose Ramirez had the 2 hits, both of them driving in runs, also scored a run. So all in all, a good day for the young kids. But Oakland prevails on the scoreboard with a final of 7-6. That's our final spring training telecast of this 2013 season. The next time we greet you will be a week from tonight in Toronto, when the Indians open the regular season against the Blue Jays. Don't forget, Spring Training Daily comes your way tonight at 9:30 Eastern on Sports Time Ohio and 9:30 p.m. throughout the rest of the week. For Rick Manning and the rest of our hard-working crew and staff, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Tuesday in Toronto.